Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Jets Radio. This is one of your hosts, Tyson Roush, and we have a jam-packed show for you as always. We have a preseason game in the books. We have training camp news and notes. And just keep in mind, we have our own sideline reporter. We have the exclusive news and notes of primetime Kevin Sirkin, so we can get all the inside scoop and all the sources and everything else he has. So plenty to talk about, and some injuries as well, unfortunately. So let me introduce the man of the people who I know right now. Let's just be honest, the man is bummed out because the petty era is over. The ship has sailed. He has gone down with the ship of, I don't know what ship he's gone down with, but Bryce Petty's done, finished, cooked. Joe from Long Beach, what's up, man?
What's going on, Ty? I mean, I don't know if he was even on the ship to begin with. Finally, music. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, horns. I'm telling you, man. Look, I don't know where Bryce is. I don't know what they're doing with him. They're clearly, making sure that he doesn't see the light of day, but it kind of is what it is. We'll talk about it as we get into the show. But listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote our Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search Long Beach Joe. Like that page. Our content's up there as well. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message us. We'll message you right back. We love going back and forth with people about this football team. Also, leave us some feedback. We love hearing about what you guys think we do here on Let's Talk Jets. So without further ado, Ty, let's go ahead and get into the show, man. I am fired up.
Yeah, and as always, we are on iTunes, SoundCloud, TuneIn.com, Stitcher, Google Play. I know Google Play is now. I've actually used it, which is a scary thought. And also check us out on YouTube. We got a lot of our interviews that we're doing. We have Bilal Powell on there, Jordan Jenkins. And we're going to be adding videos too, Primetime, myself, Joe. We're all going to have videos up there. And we have some special surprises starting out too. Once the season starts, you're going to be hearing a lot more of Let's Talk Jets. So keep that in mind as well. So we got all kinds of tricks up our sleeve. And, Joe, I'll start out with this. Before we even go to the training camp news and notes is speedy recovery to Doug Middleton, who is a guy that we both like. He's been a guest on the show, and he was having an excellent camp, man. And it was really bummed out to hear that he tore his pec. They haven't really said how long he'll be back, but chances are he's going to be out for a long time. So, speedy recovery to him. And a Lucky Whitehead, too, who broke his foot.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish nothing but, speedy recovery to both of those, man. Doug Middleton, we talked about him. We were really, pulling for him this year. Like you said, he was having a great camp, and it just sucks to see him go down. But, a guy like Ronald Martin, hopefully he steps up. He had an interception in the preseason game. So, that might open the door for him and see what happens. But, man, Lucky Whitehead, him going down as well really hurts. And not only hurts our wide receiving core, but also hurts us on special teams. He got significant time back there as a kick returner and a punt returner as well, on special teams during that preseason game against the Titans too. So we're still going to be looking around, seeing, who's going to be the guy that's going to fill his shoes. But speedy recovery to both of those guys, and, you just got to see how things shake out moving forward.
Yeah, it is, and it's unfortunate, like I said. Doug Middleton was one of the guys that I've been just quietly rooting for the entire time, hoping that he would get a chance. He was starting to emerge, too, which really sucks. So, like I said, we got to move on with that. And finally, you mentioned Lucky Whitehead and the returns because you know me, man. I am a man of resources. I like to maximize my resources. And when one man goes down, another man goes up. And my boy Romar Morris, dude, the campaign started, I don't know how many weeks ago, but the campaign's continuing, Joe. And he's a returner. He's a versatile running back. And the other thing is this, and this is an honest thing, though. Lucky Whitehead, as of the first preseason game, wasn't really contributing as a wide receiver. He was a returner only. So in terms of maximizing your roster space, which I've questioned McHagnon for, since he's been here, 4 quarterbacks, all this other nonsense, can you really afford to keep a guy that's only a returner if he can't contribute as a receiver and he can't contribute in kick return coverage? And that's where I'm kind of trying to slide in Romar Morris, where good returner, but also a versatile back out of the backfield, especially with Powell's been banged up and Forte's been banged up. McGuire's shown some things, Joe, but can you make a case for Romar Morris kind of sneaking in there?
Yeah, I think you can definitely make a case for that. The position's still up for grabs. I mean, anyone that can slide in there and make an impact as far as special teams, I think is going to get their shot. I think you can make a case for Romar Morris. I think, we might see more of Elijah McGuire back there as well. But I think the guy that kind of nobody has really talked about, that's kind of come on as well as a kick returner, as a punt returner as well, is Frankie Hammond. Frankie Hammond was the guy that was out there in that preseason game. He was returning too, and he had some solid returns, man, let me tell you something. And he also gave us some stuff in the passing game as well. He dropped one, he dropped one ball, but, you know, he was out there making some plays too, and he caught a couple as well. So I think that you'll see a guy, you know, you'll see Frankie Hammond get his chance, you know, to definitely probably be the number one punt returner or kick returner, and then we'll see other guys like Omar Morris, like I said, McGuire, you know, get behind him. So we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah, and an excellent point about Frankie Hammond. He's a player that we spoke about just based on his training camp practices. It was like him, Chris Harper, Gabe Marks, all were showing good things. And if you add in, you know, good receiving ability and the chance to return, you have a very good chance to make the roster, especially as banged up as the Jets receivers are. So it's definitely something we'll touch on with primetime in a couple minutes. And, Joe, you know what's really cool is that one preseason game down, right, the first preseason game down, and we already know who our starting quarterback is, which is awesome. And the other thing we know is that the tank crowd, this tank crowd has got to be getting nervous. Like, I could see those bozos sitting there starting to sweat. Like, wait a minute. This season's about getting draft picks, and I think we're going to win some games because, you know what? This defense is flying around. The offense showing some glimpses of being well coached, which is a nice surprise. But they have some opportunity to do some things. And, dude, you know, I think the tank crowd's getting a little nervous because this team's going to win some games, and we know who the starting quarterback is.
Look, I think we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. You know,
we know it is.
Just literally, you know what? Look, he may be the starter, but again, you know, this is preseason. Very vanilla defenses, very vanilla stuff. You know, who knows if that stuff will work out during the season. But what I like to focus on is the fact that they went out there and executed well. That's what I wanted to see. I'm not going to sit here and just say outright that McCown's going to be the starter. I mean, everything kind of points to, as far as the reps, from what we've seen, you know, during camp and things, that they're kind of pushing on him to be the starter, but the competition isn't over yet. But there were some really good things that we saw out there. We saw him, you know, slide up in the pocket after some pressure. It's not over. We saw him slide up in the pocket after some we saw him slide up in the pocket after some pressure and make a solid throw. And, you know, the offense kind of turned along and got upfield with him as well. So I'm looking at it like I said, it's the preseason. We're not in the season yet. It's just one game. It's just a couple drives out there with him. I want to see if this continues as we move on and go forward. But to me, the fight's not over until it's over.
It's over. And let me tell you why it's over. See, first of all, I will say this. The theme throughout all our training camp reports has been we've been impressed by the actual coaching on the field, coaching off the field. John Morton's done an excellent job of bringing Hackenberg along. Hackenberg has no doubt progressed. He's improved. The play calling on Saturday night was very conservative. He took what he gave them. There was good command. It was very well schemed. A lot of credit to the entire coaching staff, including Ty Bowles, who everybody likes to beat on. But this coaching staff is doing a good job with this young team. The fact of the matter is this. Hackenberg has improved, but he's not ready to start. They're not giving him the reps to start. And the problem you have is you basically have 2 preseason games left for him to win the job. The next preseason game, Josh McCown will probably play the first quarter. So is Hackenberg going to win it in the second and third quarter? No. The third preseason game, the starting team plays 2.5 quarters. Is Hackenberg going to win it in a half a quarter? The answer is no. So, Joe, it's over. He can take all the first team reps he wants. He can do all these things. Unfortunately, this is what should have happened last year, but we had 4 quarterbacks. Well, that was a Jets excuse at least. So, you know, what should have happened last year is happening this year. He's shown progress, but there's not enough time in the preseason for him to actually earn the job. And then if you listen to John Morton today, he's praising Josh McCown for his leadership, his efficiency, command of the offense, command of the huddle. All the writing's on the wall. So we can play the charade as long as we want. It's a fun story, but the fact of the matter is, dude, Josh McCown's your starter. And you know what? Unless he gets hurt, I have a funny feeling this team's going to be competitive. Start for a good period of time in this season, man.
Well, you know, and that would literally be our worst nightmares coming true. You know, I looked at the situation and I said, okay, they're giving Hack his reps. You know, he's out there. He's being asked to do something, you know, really simple. The offensive scheme for me when I was watching Hack wasn't anything, you know, $2,000 for him. It was basically, get that first read, get your check down, be done with it. He didn't really throw anything too deep. He missed the one deep shot that he took. But everything was really check downs and really quick. A lot of 3-step drops. Morton's offense, I think, looked solid. He's a guy that, and again, this just may be a trait of him using some things out of the West Coast system, because the West Coast system, some variations are very dink and dunk. That's just how it works.
Yep.
When I looked at the way that he was using the fullbacks, I thought what to me was very intriguing. This is a position that I've been talking about time and time again, not just because of the impact that keeping, more than one fullback or a fullback period on this roster could have on the rest of the roster, but also just what exactly would they contribute to us within the offensive, scheme and game. We talked about this possibly being a power running team. You have a fullback back there smashing people up. That's going to impact how you're running the football. But I come out and I see Morton throwing the guys in the flats, in the red zone. He's throwing to Julian Hauser. He's throwing to Fisker, who had a solid game. Brown, before he was he didn't have that great of a game, but he was targeted as well. So I'm seeing guys out there that, the defense cannot sleep when they scheme. It's every single person that's out there on that field is going to be a weapon if they're out there, especially the tight ends. He hit ASJ. He hit Leggett. That was something that Chan Gailey never even cared about. This was a guy that pretty much never threw to the tight end and never made him part of their system. So I was very, very excited by that, just seeing the fact that, he's going to use every single weapon out there, and everybody out there is going to be a pass catcher and has the ability to be. But going back to our quarterback competition, look, the reason why I say the fight's not over till it's over, like I said, it's going for it. Do I think that Hack is going to just come out of nowhere and just blow us all away? I don't know. Like I said, he was asked to do something really simple. Right now, Josh McCown, in my mind, is the leader. But the whole deal that blows me away is the handling of Bryce Petty. Here's a guy that you can literally ask to do some of the same things you asked Josh McCown to do, and I think he would succeed at doing that. But when you're not giving him any reps at all, when you're not allowing this dude to do anything, no reps in camp. I said he would rise from the ashes in preseason. They're making sure that he stays in the ashes because they're not going to give him any significant they're pouring water on that fire. They're making sure that he's not seeing any significant time whatsoever. And the thing that also blows me about this quarterback competition is when you do that to Bryce Petty, and it's something that I saw, and I really wish I would have said it last week on the show because it was in my mind, is that what I think is going to start happening with Bryce and what we're going to start seeing as time rolls on, if they don't give him significant snaps, is the snaps that he does have, he's going to start pressing. And you saw that in the game because one play that he did, he rolled out and he ran towards the sideline. He was trying to get a first down. And right when he rolled out, I looked at the TV and I said, Bryce, please don't get killed. Please don't do something to get yourself killed. And he ran out there and took a big shot trying to reach out and get a first down because he wants to extend that drive. He wants to get to that next drive so he can show more time out there. And the first thing that happened when he went to the sidelines was Todd Bowles was patting him on his chest. And it's just like, what do you expect this guy to do? He's trying to go out there and make plays so that he can have more time on tape to even be considered, within this quarterback competition, to even be considered to be the second or first string quarterback here. So I'm just hoping as time goes on, if they ever even give him snaps, that he doesn't go out there and start forcing balls where they're not supposed to be because he's just trying to extend drives, that he won't allow a play to die when there's nothing there because he wants to extend a drive, or he won't go out there and get himself killed trying to dive for a first down or trying to run over a linebacker because he wants to consistently get that first down so that he can be out there longer to be considered within this quarterback competition. The way that I think is being handled, I think is a bit irresponsible due to the fact of how they're treating Bryce. But, like I said, I want to keep up the moniker, hey, the fight's not over till it's over, but you do have a point when you say, look, McCown's getting most of the reps. He's being praised by Morton. You look at the game, he's moving the ball up and down the field. You look what they're actually have to do. They're sitting Petty, to the side, not doing nothing with him. It's kind of hard for me to keep that moniker going when you provide all those facts.
Yeah, and to me, it's just like I said, this is what was supposed to happen last year. And having four quarterbacks, which is a built-in excuse, Hackenberg didn't get any of these chances. Now this year he's getting it, but now he's running out of time. That's the problem.